So this is the yarn I'm using. This is what's left. It is a 10-ply yarn, 100% acrylic, and it calls for a 5mm crochet hook, but I'm gonna size up to 6mm. This is just what I prefer to do using a bigger hook. You can use 5mm or the hook size your yarn calls for. So basically, we're gonna make a rectangle like this. You can use 2 colors like me, or you can just use 1 color. I'm showing you how to make the beanie in 2 colors. About the measurement, we're going to begin from here, work our panel back and forth like this. So this is the stitch number, and this is the row count. And once you have the rectangle, you're going to fold it in half like this. And you're going to sew these edges together and close up the top. And that's our beanie. So as you can see, what is the height of the beanie? It is our stitch number. And what is the circumference of the beanie, or your head circumference? It is the row count. But remember, what matters is the measurements. So many of you ask me how many chains or how many rows you should do. I can't give you a specific number. I can tell you my stitch number and row count, but what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you, especially if you're using a different yarn. With this yarn, my stitch number is 45 stitches, so that means I'm going to chain 45 at the beginning. And after it's done, it's about 11.5 inches. But this is after I worked stitches in the foundation chain. The foundation chain alone, without any stitches in it, is longer than that. So I'm going to make a slip knot and insert my hook. I'm going to make a chain that is the height of the beanie. So I'm going to yarn over and pull it through the loop on the hook. Chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm just going to continue doing this. So I chained 45. When relaxed, this chain measures about 14 inches, and of course it can stretch more up to 18 inches. So this length is the height of the beanie, but it also includes the fold over brim, which is about 10 chains. So here. So eventually, this is actually the height of the beanie. So 14 inches, even though it includes the ribbing, it still sounds long. But remember, after we work stitches in the chains, this chain is gonna shrink. So now let's begin row 1. I'm going to chain 1, and for this row 1, I'm gonna work in the back loop of each chain. So first, I'm gonna yarn over and locate the second chain. That's the first one, that's the second one. I'm going to turn my chain and find the back loop of the second chain. And then I'm going to insert my hook in that back loop. Yarn over and pull it through. Now we have 3 loops on the hook. And then I'm going to pull the first loop through the second and the third loop. But the first loop and the second loop are connected. So if you just pull it like this, it's going to be a bit difficult. So to prevent the first loop pulling the second loop, making it difficult to pull through, I'm going to pinch where the first loop and the second loop are connected. And now if you pull it through, it should be easier. So pull the first one through the other 2. And this is a stitch that's going to make up the whole beanie. Now I'm going to place a stitch marker in this first stitch in the top 2 loops. Then for the next chain, I'm just going to keep doing the same. So yarn over, insert hook in the back loop, and yarn over, pull it through. Hold where the first two loops are connected and pull number 1 through 2 and 3. That's the second stitch. And then I'm just going to continue doing this. I'll see you at the end of the chain. Now I'm at my last stitch. I'm going to do the same, yarn over, insert my hook, and pull yarn through. So that's row 1. Row 2 is the repeat row, but it's no different from row 1. I'm going to chain 1 and then turn my work. In the very first stitch, which is this one, that's the chain 1, that's the first stitch. I'm going to do the same thing. You see we have 2 top loops here. We're only going to work in the back loop. So again, I'm going to yarn over, but this time I'm going to insert in the back loop only. And then I'm going to pull yarn through. And then pull loop 1 through 2 and 3. And again, I'm going to mark this first stitch. And I'm going to do this for the first stitch of each row. And the reason why we mark the first stitch of each row is because when you're working the next row, you're working in the opposite direction. So the first stitch before now is your last stitch. Marking this stitch can prevent you from missing it. And missing a stitch is the last thing you want to do because otherwise you won't be making a rectangle. It'd be more like a trapezoid. So like I said before, row 2 is the repeat row. And from the second stitch, you're going to do the same thing. So yarn over and insert your hook in the back loop only. Pull yarn through. And then go ahead and pull it through the next 2 loops. And then you're going to continue doing this to the end of the row. And this is what I mean. If you mark your first stitch of the last row, you're going to find your last stitch of this row very easily. So that's the last one. I'm going to work in this stitch as well. And then, like I said before, we're just going to repeat row 2. So what we did for row 2, we chain 1, turn. From the first stitch, yarn over, insert hook, pull up a loop, and then pull it through the next 2 loops as well. Do this all the way to the end of the row. And again, don't forget to mark the first stitch of each row. So, I'm just going to continue working my rows back and forth like this until my row count measures half of my head circumference. So if you're using one color to make this beanie, to make this rectangle, you can just continue working your rows until this measures your full head circumference. If you're making it half-half in colors like me, you're going to work your rows until it measures half of your head circumference. So you're going to use this color and make half of the rectangle. I did 38 rows here, and it measures almost 10.5 inches. So my head circumference is 21 inches, and half of that is 10.5 inches. So that's the height of the beanie, and this way is the circumference of the beanie. So to change color, at the end of row 38, when you have one stitch left, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook in the back loop. For the second color, I'm going to use black, but you can't really see it, so I'm going to demonstrate it first with this pink color. So now we've inserted the hook. Grab your new color, yarn over, pull it through, and then also pull it through the next 2 loops as well. And here you can tie these 2 ends together in case they come loose. And then you're just going to begin your next row as usual. So chain 1, turn your work, and begin from the first stitch, work your yarn over slip stitch as usual. This one you can just cut it. So now I'm going to switch to this black color and work another 38 rows, and I'll see you back here. So I'm working my last stitch here. At the end of the row, I'm going to chain 1. So after 38 rows in color 1, I did another 38 rows in color 2. And now it measures about 20.5 inches, but remember, this is when it's relaxed. When we wear the beanie, it's going to stretch. So as long as it can stretch to 21.5 inches, which is my head circumference, it's okay. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this panel in half. If you're using one color, both sides are going to be the same. But if you're using 2 colors like me, let's have a look here. Do you see on one side, color 1 is poking through color 2, and on the other, it looks better. So this side is going to be the right side of my beanie. When you fold it in half, make sure the right side is on the outside. So you're going to turn your work like this, right side is on the outside, and then we're going to seam the edge together. Okay, now let's have a look at the stitches. So on this edge, you can see we have 2 top loops. This is the bottom of the foundation chain. We have 2 top loops, and we also have 2 top loops on this end as well. So on this side, the side that's closer to us, we're going to insert in both loops for every stitch. And on the other side, this one, we're only going to insert in the back loop only like this. So I'm going to use this color too to seam it up. And like I said before, on this side, we're going to insert in both loops. This is the first stitch, so you insert in both loops. And then on the other side, we're only gonna insert in the back loop. That is the first stitch, this one. So you insert your hook, right? Now you have 4 loops. You have 1 already on your hook, and then 2 from this edge, 1 from this edge. 4 loops. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of them. And then we're going to do the same thing for the next 9 stitches. So the next stitch right here, insert in 2 loops, And then the next stitch on the other side, back loop only. And yarn over, pull through 4 to make a slip stitch. Do this 8 more times. And this is the last one. And then after that, you're going to flip your panel inside out. And then put this loop back on your hook. And you should have something like this. The reason why we flip our work after the first 10 stitches is because this is the ribbing. And when you fold it over, you want it to look just like the seam on the outside of the beanie. Now, color 1 is closer to us, but we're still going to do the same. The edge that's closer to us, both loops. And then be sure to find your next stitch here. So we already worked in this stitch, the next stitch is here. And you're going to insert in the back loop of that stitch, back loop only, and slip stitch. And from here, you're going to work like that all the way to the end of the row. So when you finish your last stitch, you're going to chain 1, leave about 1 meter, cut your yarn and pull through. And then you're going to grab your yarn needle and then just close off this opening.